working.
That is
which
a true
will be music
story.
to the ears of our next guest, Chris Lemonis, head coach, Mississippi State baseball. Coach, I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume you're in a better mood this week than you've been the past few weeks.
Well, you're right in saying that. I mean, winning cures a lot, but we have a lot of winning left to accomplish. So, no rest during our seasons. But it did make Easter nice. I tell you, it was a nice day to have a day off and win a series against a good opponent and get ready for another good opponent.
You said last week, you were adamant about it. We're close, we're so close. And then you get to see some positive things in the series with Alabama. Do you feel like you're closer, or is it still, we're still getting there?
I feel like we're still getting there. We're a work in progress is what I keep telling the team. And, we have some guys playing better. We have some guys pitching better. We have some guys getting healthy. It's never easy in this league because we're going to be chasing it the whole year long. And I try not to put the pressure of what happened the first 3 weekends on the team in terms of, all we can control is the next game, the next outing, the next at bat. But their effort is very high. They come to the ballpark every day ready to get after it, and they're playing hard.
You speaking of guys who are getting healthy, Cade Smith back in the rotation for you this week, got the start on Thursday. Had some ups and downs in that first start back, but ends up pitching all right for you. What'd you think of that first start for him?
I thought it was all right. Like you said, it's their starter actually had the same start, like a rehab start, and we got a lot more out of Cade than they got out of their guy. He was their Friday night guy last year also. But in our world, it was nice to see Cade out there to build up his pitch count. These guys. The bad thing about the rehab guys is they not only now are they healthy, now we got to get them pitching good, right? And that's a tough dynamic too. But I think he's getting a little bit better and a little more confident every week. His stuff has been good. It's a little bit about being a little bit more command than anything.
This is 2 weeks in a row for Durangelo that he's only thrown from the right side. Is that a decision you guys have come to, or is that something that's just happening because of his left arm is a little tired right now? What's the thought process behind that?
It's actually up to him. So it's not a thing where it's one or the other, but it's just been it's a lot on him. That's what people don't realize. It's a lot to prepare every week. It's a lot to do. Will he do it again? I don't know. I've left that decision up to him, but also wanted him to know it's okay if you just went right-handed, And so, just warming up for a game takes twice as long as everybody else. Warming up between innings, you're running out there. It's just that dynamic is a lot when you're on this type of stage with this type of publicity and TV and everything else. Just that's kind of what that's about.
It's crazy when you talk about it that way because you don't think about that as outside of the program. Like it just occurred to me as like, he has to warm up two arms. He can't just decide, okay, I'm going left here and haven't had that properly warm up. That's an interesting way to put that. Speaking of freshmen,
what happened as time went on, one breaking ball is not as sharp, right? And it's hard to keep one sharp when you're trying to keep the other sharp, and that's the dynamic he's in right now. So. Will he throw it both? He could. But, it's kind of his decision and how he feels.
Speaking of your freshmen, obviously, with Durangelo there, last week Dakota Jordan sort of took off for you. Got back to that point where you thought he could be, preseason. This past week, Ross Highfield has a really good week for you. How pleased are you with the progression from your freshman hitters these past couple of weeks?
Yeah, we're pretty fired up. We knew we'd be young in some areas. But we had some special players, and our young kids are kind of making that maturation process from being a freshman to being an SEC player. And Ross Highfield and Dakota were such big pieces in the weekend series. They're just starting to play well. They're starting to get comfortable. They're not – you don't look at them as much as freshmen, right now. So they've played really well.
When you look at SEC stats only, Hunter Hines and Kellum Clark, who are, those are your two big bats. Those are two guys you would expect to deliver for you, but they have. They've been playing really well since conference play start. Do you think they can continue to carry this team, throughout conference play?
I think they can. Ours is a team effort. I know we had some weird weekends in there, but I do think it's a team effort with this group. And we one of my problems is that I got Bryce Chance back, who's one of the best hitters in the league. Like I got and I have some really good guys that are just sitting here waiting. I wish a couple of them could pitch, but offensively we have a good group. We feel like 1 to 9 that could really put some pressure on people. So I think the strength of us is our depth, and the length of our lineup at times. So yes, we need Hunter Hines and Kellum to be as good as they can be, but that whole group as a whole. I mean, this past weekend we played well, and Colton Ledbetter, probably our best prospect, was just okay for the first time all year. So hopefully we get him back at full throttle and playing well.
We used to talk about Landon Sims, and at least in the press box, we would say when you heard the still of the night, you knew the game was over. With Nate Dome going back to the bullpen, the way he pitched on Saturday, giving you 4 innings as well, are you starting to get that, not the same vibe? Landon Sims is an incredible talent, but where you feel confident, hey, look, we've got the lead with this guy coming in, we're going to be okay?
I do. I do feel like that. Well, I feel like when we throw Nate Dome, you have to beat us. He usually is in the strike zone. You're going to have to hit a couple balls in a row to beat us at that point. And he thrives in that moment. Just, a lot of kids don't thrive in that moment. He does. And, the key for us is I'd like to see us get, Aaron Nixon's one we haven't, coming back off rehab, getting him in the right spot, getting him in some comfortable situations, because he's that type of guy too. That would really be a big boost for us.
With Dome, he threw 4 innings for you in one outing on Saturday. Is he a guy that can go twice in a weekend, go 2 innings here and 2 innings there?
I think he could. Yeah, I think he could. Definitely, at least 2 and 1 at least. I think you could throw him 2 and 1. It just hadn't really worked out that way. That was kind of the hard part, having him in the pen early, is we weren't ever getting to him. This weekend at least we were able to get to him, and we went to him kind of early on Sunday, but I felt like the game was in balance at that point. A lot of people want closers. I just don't want it to open, and keep us close. We felt like we had a chance to get to their bullpen.
You got the road game midweek start this week. Who's on the mound for you Tuesday night against UAB?
We're going to throw a ton of guys, but we'll start Parker Stinnett again like last week and try to get him a little more innings or a little more pitches in than he had last week and keep trying to build him up.
And then, of course, you look ahead to the weekend. It's Super Bulldog Weekend. The crowds are going to be huge. And, of course, you add to that, it's Ole Miss. That's a series. You haven't lost a series to the Rebels. Mississippi State hasn't lost a series to them in I think, 7 years now. And they're a team that's, sort of having that national championship hangover the same way your team did a season ago. But at the same time, still a dangerous team. Are you excited for what this weekend's going to bring?
I did not even realize that was this weekend, Brian. Like, this weekend, Super Bulldog Weekend?
Yeah.
So they're already setting up. We got statues. They're having to bring in extra beds in this town. They got everything sold out. So, it'll be a blast. We got so much going on this campus, with the weekend. And we got a really good opponent. I don't care what anybody says, always in a rivalry game. But I think about a month ago, these guys were 3rd in the country. So we know they're talented and they're very good. And we're going to have to play really good baseball, But it will be an absolute zoo here in Starkville this weekend. So it should be a lot of fun.
And even with, you guys, the way your team has played this year, the way Ole Miss has played this year, these are the last 2 defending national champions playing each other in Starkville, Mississippi. To me, at least, there's just something cool about that. Well,
it is cool, because 2 years ago you couldn't have said either one of us. We never had one in our state's history. So it is really cool. And they're 2 great programs. So probably not neither one of us are playing where we want to right now, but it's still 2 programs with a lot of pride.
You plan to hang around for the concert after the game?
No. I'm hoping for a good game, and I'll go lay on my couch and I can listen to it. So, but I stay away from all that type of. Like I said, we got, they're doing the Coach Polk statue. We got softball, football. Yeah. We got the concert, I keep telling them, like, anything else y'all want to add this weekend? We had some really good baseball. So it should be a lot of fun. Weather looks great. And like I told the kids after the Alabama game, this is why you come to Mississippi State. You come for these type of weekends, these crowds, and, playing Ole Miss, a lot of people always, it's just another game. It's never another game in this town, and not to our people, not to our fans. Not to our players or coaches, but definitely not to our president either. I think, the very first day I got at the job, I saw all the Governor Cup trophies and everything else, and we understand how important this series is to our school and to our fan base.
Yeah, Dr. Keenum will be very quick to let you know what how important a win over the Ole Miss Rebels is to him in his opinion. So, Coach Chris Lemonis, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again next Monday.